Peace and blessings. I am Regina, and welcome to Diva G's Reborns. Today we are here with our handsome Canon. Canon also has a torso, a male torso that we are also working on. Today we are going to put the highlights in on our baby Canon. He already has had his eyelid purple layers to help with making the work easier, applying deeper colors in strategic places. So we are going to now begin with our highlight. Our highlight is our yellow ochre. And let's hope that my computer doesn't turn off again. I did, in fact, move and delete some more things. So hopefully that, is enough. And I'll go over some more as well. Um, but I think it's enough for me to be able to get some more done on our baby Canon. Um, I like to get things done when I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm feeling pretty good. So I'd like to work on our Canon. Canon again is a 20-inch Realborn. Realborn are the kits from Bountiful Baby, and they are made from a 3D image of a real baby. So this baby is actually an image of a real baby. Okay, I don't know if the actual baby is named Cannon or not. However, this is what the kit is called. And he does have some lovely limbs as well. So we're going to work on the mid face with our yellow ochre. Our yellow ochre, we're going to go pretty much all around the face without any real limitation. We're going to go around all of pretty much the whole face. This way we are not tied into a limited amount of highlight area. So we're just going to go across the entire face with our yellow ochre. Okay, the entire face with the yellow ochre. We're even going up by the ears. So again, we don't have to concern ourselves with, okay, how much highlight, how far can our highlight go? We don't have to worry about that because we are going everywhere on this go round. Okay, and we're going to pounce out our yellow ochre. Going to go around. Now we didn't go on the ears, we just went up to and behind, slightly behind the ears. So we didn't go on the ears because we know the ears are going to be darker. They're not going to have any of that highlight coloring to them. Now, here you can see pretty well the eyelid purple because we applied, I think three layers, 2 or 3 layers, I think 3 layers of the eyelid purple on our kit in strategic places. So you can see, let me see if I can turn this light on. Oh, wait a minute. And my ring light is not on. Wow. Why is it? Oh, because I have the other thing plugged in. Okay. Let me see if I can plug in my ring light. Hold on 1 second. And we're back. Okay, I think we have a little bit more light. I did put the ring light on as well, so hopefully the lighting is good. You can see where the eyelid purple has been applied. You can kind of see some darkening, okay, in those areas as well as on the creases. Now, the interesting thing with the eyelid purple is under the skin tone layers, it will not appear purple at all. It will not. It will just give that shading that we're seeking. Okay, so we went across his face with the yellow ochre. So I do want to just blot out anywhere else that I see. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And you can see a little bit with the creases where the eyelid purple is. And you can see how lovely the ear canal looks nice and dark. Nice and dark. And we're going to continue to apply the skin tone to it. And you see the nose looks nicely shaded as well. Okay, so our baby Kato is coming along. His veins are still apparent because we haven't done anything else to him. I do want to go over with the eyelid purple again. We have a little mark here on our baby Cannon's nose. So we want to get that little speck off because that does not belong there. Does not belong in our baby Cannon. So I am working on our baby Cannon. You can check out the live because we did go over his torso in the live. I would also suggest that you do take a look at the community tab area because sometimes there's information in there. I want to also make mention that I was asked if I would do one-on-one classes regarding reborning, and the answer is yes. I can do some classes, a limited amount of classes by way of Zoom. They would be 1 to 2 hours, and there would be up to maybe about 5 classes, which should give you the opportunity to be able to complete your own doll from beginning to end. Of course, at a nominal fee, the class would be. If you are interested, reach out by way of in the comments, or if you reach out to me by way of my email, let me know in the comments that you've emailed me. And that way I'll definitely check the emails because I don't check the email as often as I do the comments. Okay. So you see how lovely that ear looks? You can see him, coming, not looking so flat. I also did a little bit of eyelid purple on the brow line. Now, I don't want to put too much because I don't want to overemphasize the brow line too much because if you overemphasize it, it can make him look a bit harsh, like he's frowning. And he's not a frowning baby. He has a pretty neutral affect. So he looks like a quiet sleeping baby. So we're just going to go ahead and honor that. um, I think we can go back in with some of the eyelid, with the, excuse me, with the yellow ochre. Um, because with the air dry paint, it dries rather quickly. Um, again, we're going to go all around the kind of the front portion of his face and forehead. So we're not limited to, excuse me, the area that we can consider to highlight. And this will also make the colors that will go over, blend in, where they will have that little bit of brightness as well. So I'm going all the way over the eyes, everywhere. I'm even going in the nose a little bit, everywhere, the creases, everywhere. I'm going pretty much like everywhere. And then I'm going to pounce that out. Um, and this will give us that lovely highlight that our darker skin babies tend to have. We're avoiding the ears because the ears do not have that highlight. Only really actually the mid face. However, we went a little bit more than the mid face. We went a little bit more. This way we're not limited to exactly how far we can go with the color. So we're just going around, just tapping around, because wherever it looks wet, um, we can kind of tap a bit more. Okay, let me just bounce out. Now you can maybe see a little bit highlight. You can maybe see a little bit of difference, a little bit from, if you look here, you have that yellow glow, and the back here you don't. It may be a little bit hard to see. Trying to see if I can get an angle where it might be a little bit more visible. Well, actually, no, I can't get another angle. I do apologize for that. Nonetheless, our baby Canon is coming along. So, yeah, so let me just go in his nose to make sure there's no pooling, because that would not look nice. Okay. I have a little kind of pointed area on this cosmetic wedge that's able to go in his nostril. We did 2 layers of the yellow ochre, and we have 3 layers of the eyelid purple in strategic areas on um, the hands, the arms, the feet, as well as the leg. We're going to just put the yellow ochre off to the side, just in case we might need it again later. We're just going to put it off to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do what some consider modeling, or what I would say is depth layers, because this helps to create some depth, because the holes in my sea sponge are somewhat wide apart, and that will give a larger pattern. So I generally like to use a blue and the purple. Sometimes I use the red, but not always. But I do like to use the blue because the blue also gives the illusion of veins. So what I do is I'm not using my blue wash. I have a deeper blue that I do use. Just 1 second, let me pull it out. So I have my deeper blue. I also have a deeper kind of purple, and I also have a deeper red, but we won't be using the red. I will take out my deeper blue. I may have to put a little bit of the distilled water solution with the wetting drops. I may have to put a little bit of that in. Yeah, because it's a little bit thick. Just a little bit of it. And take out my brush and stir this around a little bit. Yeah, you can see it's pretty pretty thick in there. Okay, I think I do have enough color. However, I'm going to just make a little bit more. Let me put a little bit more of this. And let me see if I can take a little bit of, not the wedding drops, but because that's already in the distilled water. I do want to use a little bit of the satin glazing liquid, golden. Just put a little bit in here. Not much, maybe just 2 or 3 drops, because that will help us to be able to move the paint nicely and for it to adhere, not dry immediately. Okay, that's kind of nice right there. What I think I will do also is put a little bit of the Liquitex matte gel, just a little bit, because I don't think this has any in it. So we're going to just take a little bit and put it in. Okay, I'm taking about that much. About that much. Let's see if that's giving me what I want. I'm probably going to need to put a little bit more of the blue, but let's just see. Because I want it to be thicker than a wash, however, I want it to be movable, easily movable. So, yeah, that looks like it might be giving me what I want. Okay. So I'm going to rinse this in the distilled water. I'm going to keep this down nearby just in case it needs some more. And I want to put a little bit more of this distilled water with the wetting agent in here. It's more distilled water than wetting agent. It's like a 1 to 10. So like 1% of the wetting agent to 10% of the distilled water. And since I'm using air dry paint, I'm using Ultimate Fusion. I need this to be just, need it to be just a little bit thicker. So let's take a little bit more of the Liquitex, because we don't want it to be as watery as a wash. It needs to have a little bit more bite to it than a wash. And the thing that can give it that bite is this Liquitex. So I'm going to take a little bit more of the Liquitex, and that can create a little bit more of that creaminess, a little bit more of that I'm looking for. Okay, I may have to, depending, I may have to add some more glue, but so far so good. The only thing that, because with the colors, you're only going in by drops. So it doesn't take a lot. A little bit kind of goes a long way, and I'm getting paint all over myself. Yikes. Okay. So that Liquitex is doing what it needs to do. What I want to do is wipe my hands. Okay, I want to put a little bit more of this satin glaze, just a little bit. The purpose of the satin glaze, it's 100% acrylic medium that increases translucency and working time for blending and glazing acrylic paints. It says use alone or blend with acrylic colors in any ratio. Useful for wet to wet blending. It says do not apply thickly, which we're not, it's thin. And it dry completely before recoating to avoid lifting. Okay, so we've been adhering to proper instructions. So we're just gonna put that over here. And we're gonna stir this up a little bit more because we want to get the Liquitex nicely mixed in. Okay. Okay, awesome. I think that might be good. That might be good. We're gonna know in just a second. We'll know in just a second. I'm going to put a little bit on my sea sponge. Okay. And I'm going to go on the back of Canon's head. We generally never want to start on the face with anything just in case we don't like it. And we just pounce. Okay, pounce, 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 pounce. So it's leaving a little bit of a pattern. I don't know, maybe a little bit dark, but we're leaving this pattern a little bit over our baby Canon's head. Okay, we're just going to bring a little bit around slightly to the front, not much, because we don't want to have too much on the forefront of our baby. So we're just kind of going a little bit across on the head in different places because once we apply color, this will look almost as though there's some veining there. Now, because our babies have a deeper complexion, it won't be greatly visible, but it will add some dimension. We did the same thing with our baby Cato and our baby Lillian. This is Lillian, and we did the same thing. And you can see a little bit of the dimension in her skin. And that's because we went through, we did also this dimension, this layer that gives some tone, like a, what do you call it? Like a tone layer. Now we're going to go certain places on the arm, not all over, but just certain places. Okay. And this helps to, again, we don't want our baby to look bruised, and he won't. He won't look bruised at all. He will just have that dimension in color that I just showed you our lovely Lillian has, as well as our baby Cato. So this is what can help create some dimension layers. Okay. We don't put too much of it. We put a little bit more on the brush. I hope you are enjoying this series. I've made a few videos today, um, So some live, some regular videos. The live is a little bit because my laptop that I record from, the same old story. The storage is full. I thought I moved everything so that I would have room to make videos. And to my surprise, I made a video and then I did another video and it cut off right there in the middle of it. How disrespectful of it to do so, but it did. So I took some more time and tried to delete and move stuff around to see if that would allow me to be able to record. So far, so good. So far, so good. Now we're going to go with a little bit more. Remember, we have the belly plate that we have to pay attention to as well. So we're just kind of going just different places because this leaves kind of like this pattern a little bit on the baby. Kind of hard to see, but it does. It leaves the pattern, which gives, that depth layer. Um, and we have our baby Canon. Okay, and we're going to go over. We're going to start kind of low and go around. And then we're going to kind of go a little bit kind of like all over to help to create those depth layers. Oops. I want to put a little bit more paint on here to create those depth layers. I know I have new viewers. I would encourage you. First, I'd like to say thank you and welcome. Thank you for all of the lovely comments that we have been getting. Um, I would also encourage you to look at all of the videos in the various series that we have. There may be some tips that you might find that are helpful to you and just actually enjoyable to watch. This is a belly plate that is anatomically correct for a baby boy. So I'm going around his genital areas strategically in what would be the the groin area, not the testicles itself, but just kind of like in what would be considered the groin area. And I'm kind of going around a little bit. The testicle area, we already did quite a bit of the eyelid purple on because the testicles will be a little bit darker. So this is somewhat of what the belly plate looks like with the veining, with the eyelid purple in certain places. Okay, and on the navel, so we have that eyelid purple, and that will just make so much easier the shading. It will just, you're going to really see how much easier the shading is. Now we're done with our blue. Now we're going to go in with like a purple. And I know that I will definitely need to reconstitute this. This one is very dark. That's different. This is a different type of purple. It's not an eyelid purple. It's a deeper, almost burgundy-ish type purple. And I may not have quite enough of this, but we're going to see. I can mix. Ooh, I don't want to use the wetting agent. No, no, no. Let's move this out the way. We don't want to use that. We want to be able to use a little bit of the satin glaze. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of the satin glaze. Maybe 2, 3, 4 drops. Okay, 5. And we're going to put in the distilled water wetting agent mix. A little bit of that. And then we're going to go ahead and stir this up. We don't have that much in here, but it's enough to do what it is that we need to do, because I will have to make some more. However, it's enough to do what it is that we need to do. I think it is. You don't want to get down to the last of anything and then run out in the middle of working on your kit. However, I think this is enough for us to do what it is we need to do. I'm going to also add a little bit of the latex, the Liquitex, I'm sorry, the Liquitex matte gel. This is something that I use quite a bit of, and I have some more because I use it in pretty much everything, you know. So this is something that I don't want to run out, and I make sure to keep some on hand. So I have a pretty large container also, because this one is running out a little bit, but we have mixing this in. This is quite creamy, so I want to make sure to mix this well so that it will spread nice and smoothly. Because that's what you want. You don't want any lumps and bumps or anything like that. And we will be applying this to another one of my sea sponges. Now, you can use like the beauty blender type things, or the teardrop blenders also, and you can kind of pluck out areas, which I've done that too on different ones that I have. I like the sea sponge because it has some irregular spots on it that I think are flattering, and all I need to do is to put the paint on it. I don't have to pluck out anything. Now you can purchase some that are pre-plucked by Desiree. I forget the name. I apologize, but she plucks them, and they're very nice. Um, and there are quite a few artists that use them, so you can make your own, or you can purchase some, or you can use a sea sponge. Whatever it is that you like to get you the look that you desire. There's more than one way to do something, and this just happens to be the way that I'm doing it, at least for now. I'm really enjoying our baby Cannon's journey. and and the thing about a journey is you're to enjoy every step of it. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So his head should be dry, and we're just going to go across a little bit not so much as overlapping the areas, just going across different places. And remember, I'm not going over his face. I'm just kind of staying in what would be the scalp area, um, because I don't like um, these type of depth layers or modeling for that matter directly on the face. But you see, these depth layers are what we did use on our other dolls, and it makes a very nice layered effect under the skin, because this is under the skin. If you notice, I'm not really going on the hands either. I'm really not going on the hands. And as your sponge or your wedge loses color, you just put a little bit more on. That's all. You just put a little bit more, and because you're just going in strategic, spots, areas, you're not going over every single inch of the kit. If you want to do a little bit on the hands, you can, but not on the palms or the soles of the feet. So this particular rack, this drying rack, I made myself with with a flat board from the Dollar Tree and the dowels actually from the Dollar Tree. And it works out quite nicely. I mean, I have various mug trees that I use, and I also have a bottle drying rack that I can use as well. I find this is pretty good, especially when the limbs are a little bit longer. This works out quite nicely. So I may go ahead and make me another one, because I do want to do a toddler. And doing a toddler, I'm going to need more space to dry and what have you. So our baby um, Honey and our baby Cannon are available for layaway. If you're interested in the layaway or immediate purchase, you can notify me in the comments or by way of email. And if you notify me by email, please do let me know in the comments that you sent me an email so that I would know to check the email. The email is on um, my page. This baby has some of the cutest limbs. The limbs and the toes and the fingers are so cute. So cute. Now, some people, they don't like doing, various colors like this. Um, but for our darker skinned babies, to create depth and dimension, there are things that we need to do. Well, I can't say need to do. There are things that I do to create that bit of depth on them, so that they don't just look like a flat color. Um, and I have found doing it this way that the babies have that color, that they do have color. So we're going to go on our belly plate. Same thing, just kind of strategic places. Um, Remember, this adds color and depth. So It adds color and depth. And you see we have more than enough to do this. And you can see some of that. Maybe it looks a little scary, but you can see some of the dimension. And imagine, now this is all going to be under the skin. And once we begin to put the skin layers on, you want to see how nice it looks. Now, like I said, I generally don't do the red. Um, I generally don't do it. And I'm not going to start now. I'm not going to start now. Red can be red can be very strong and unforgiving. So I don't like to mess with the red too much. Um, I don't like to mess with the red too much. I want to look at our baby's face. Okay. Now, because we haven't really put any deeper tones or colors on him, it doesn't look like there's much of a difference. However, if you look at the flange, you can see the difference in the color. You see? You can definitely see the difference in the color. Now, I was saying that I made my this drying rack. I'm going to see if I can show it to you. Wow, we're almost at 45 minutes. Wow. Okay. You can see how tall it is. Okay. And you see, and I purchased all of the pieces from the Dollar Tree. And you see how it, oh, let me pull it down. You see how, maybe if I can bring my chair down some more. Okay. You see that the limbs, they can fit pretty well on without touching the bottom. So that's something that is really good, especially if you have a kit that has longer, slightly longer limbs. Up again. So it works out quite nicely. I think I want to make another one where where I would use the dowels, because what I did was I purchased the dowels and I cut some of them in half to make for the arm and the legs. But I think in the future, when I go get some, instead of cutting them completely in half, I'm going to have them a little bit longer. So, but I do like them very much. Going to see if we can get in a layer or two of flesh color. Stand by. We're going to go over the face with our nutmeg color. That is pretty much the lightest brown or brownish color that we would be using. This is a cafe con leche, hot cocoa kind of color. And we will use this on our baby. My sponge, let's see. I need to kind of soften it up a little bit. Okay. Okay. I have a little bit of distilled water here. Not the water that I use to clean, but some other distilled water that I have for this purpose of the sponges. Um, because the sponge feels kind of dry and kind of hard. I'm thinking that it might be a good idea that at the end of a painting session that I soak the sponge and let it air dry so that the next time that I want to use them, they would be soft enough. I'm going to try and see if how that works. Now, what I want to do is I just want to kind of go around the face. And when I say around the face, I mean the front of the ears, all of here, with the nutmeg color. That's what I want to do. Now, this is a time when I'm going to start in the front of the face. So I'm going to go around his neck and I'm going around the front of the ears and going around the front part of his head, eyes, and his nose. I'm even going a little bit across the lips. Not much, but a little bit. And we're going just all around here where we have the yellow ochre. We're getting in all of the creases and the crevices, and we're just going in. Okay. We're going a little bit behind the ear because we don't want any kind of really demarcation. Okay. The lovely thing about the liquid text and this satin glaze, it gives you time to work. Now we're going to, of course, pounce, 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 just like normal. And we blot out our cosmetic wedge to make sure that it's not too wet, that it's not picking, that it won't pick up any excess paint. So we're going across. Okay. All right. Now we can see, I just love this. You can see the eyelid purple over the eyes and the ears. You can see that. That looks so good. That looks so good. Oops, I got a little bit behind here. That looks almost like it's pooling. So that we don't want. So we'll just tap around a little bit around the nose and the eyes to get out any excess. Okay, good. Make sure nothing in the creases. Okay, good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Now, since we have the nutmeg color out, what we can do, because we will be going across the palm with some color. So the palm, we're going to take a little bit of this nutmeg color, and I want to get my other brush, my favorite little angle brush, and I want to go in the palms with this nutmeg color. Not too much on the brush, just a little bit. We're going to go on the insides of the fingers all around. Okay. This is the color that will be for the palm. And we're going to see this color. We're not putting it on heavy. We're just making sure that it is going on. Okay. We can even go over the fingers a little bit, the nails a little bit. Okay. Okay. We're not going heavy, but we're just a little bit. We're just going around a little bit. so that there's not a line of demarcation. We're just kind of going around a little bit, and we're going to pounce this out quite well, quite well. This little Wet n Wild brush, it works quite nicely. You can get this for pennies on Amazon. You may be able to go into the beauty supply stores and get it as well. I do a lot of shopping online, so I'll get a lot of different things from Amazon, as many of us do, maybe even from Walmart, as well as, of course, the doll sites. Um, Jerry's Autorama has the Prismacolor pencils individual, so you can buy them individual in the colors that you want. And if you buy them in a certain number, I think 12, you get a little bit more of a discount. So it's important that you shop around to figure out where you can spend your money and get the best deal, as with anything, anywhere, right? Anything that you do when you're spending your money, you shop around for the best price to get the best quality for the money that you're spending. Now we're going to go around again the palm. I'm saying again, we're going to go around the palm of the other hand, the fingers. We're going to get inside the all of the little nooks and crannies. And remember the Realborns, they have a lot of creasing. Some people say that Bountiful Baby kits are difficult to paint. Um, I don't know if that's true or not because the only kits I have painted are Bountiful Baby. However, I do understand that the other kits may not have as many creases, which would, I guess, make it easier. Because when I look at my other dolls, my other reborns that were reborn by Kimberly of Kimberly's Cocoon, they don't have as many creases. And one is by Laura Tuzo Ross, and the other is by Laura Eagle. And they don't have as many creases as the Bountiful Babies. Now, the Bountiful Baby that I'm working on happens to be a Realborn. So these creases, I guess, were actually on him. However, if you use the artist kits from Bountiful Baby, some of them have quite a few creases as well. So, I don't know. I don't know if Bountiful Baby kits are difficult or not. These are the only kits that I have painted. Um, because um, I like the kits. They are affordable. They're good kits. They have very good customer service. They always have a sale. Always. And their sales change, every few days. Um, so they have a lot of very nice kits. Um, they do. They have a lot of nice kits, and their bodies are very good. Very good. So, yeah. So I like Bountiful Baby. I like the other doll stores as well. I just haven't purchased any kits from them as of yet. But I will in the not too distant future. However, right now, Bountiful Baby kits are the kits that I'm working with, and I do enjoy them a lot. I've fallen in love with their kits. They're beautiful. I find that they're easy to paint. Maybe because I prime them. I don't know if that's the reason. But I find that I don't have a issue painting them. Um, I don't, I don't. Now I'm going all around the foot, the part of the ankle, going all over the toes, everywhere with this color. I'm going to pounce the toes underneath out to be sure to get any, we don't want any pulling. And the front of the toes as well. Okay, now we're going to take our cosmetic wedge and we can go all around the rest of the foot and the ankle with this cosmetic wedge. And we can see, excuse me, and I'm blending this up the leg so it kind of blends out. It's not going to be a sharp line, it just blends out, it fades. So when we put the other skin tones on, it will blend nicely. Look at how nice those toes look with that eyelid purple. That's going to give that deeper color in there that we're looking for. You see? Now you don't see any demarcation. We're going to go across, go with the other leg as well with the with this skin tone color. Wow, we're at an hour just about. I guess we will be ending this video, and I would say to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Tell somebody what we're doing over here, that you're enjoying yourself, that you're having fun, that you're learning, or even just that you are just enjoying watching the reborning process. So we are grateful that you are here. We're grateful for the lovely comments, the likes. We're very, very grateful for the subscriptions to the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending your time here, because you could be anywhere. You could be anywhere doing anything, and you're here. And I'm grateful, and you watching the videos, the lives, looking at reviewing the shorts, everything. I'm grateful. I truly, truly am. I don't take it for granted. I'm very, very appreciative of you and your time. Very appreciative of your kind comments. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you. I do appreciate it very much. Now again, we're blending up the leg so there's not any line of demarcation. And we make sure that we pounce out the sole of the feet and under the toes, because we don't want any buildup there. And ooh, let's go right here. I'm talking about no buildup, and I see a little bit of pooling here. Okay, pooling is not good. Pooling is not good. Pooling is okay if it is the summertime and it's warm and you go to the pool, or if you happen to be, I think, in Australia, because their summer happens to be in what we would have as the winter months. I think their summer is like November, December, or something like that. So they would be going to the pool then if they desire, or going to the pool in their yard or on their property, or what have you. So those are the limbs, and I will be doing the same thing with the belly plate. I will say like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so very much. Stay safe. Enjoy your day. Peace and blessings.